Hey guys, what's going on? It's the Illicit Poet here, and today I have another life story to share with you guys, this time being on the first time that I smoked K2 or synthetic marijuana. So let's get into this. This takes me back to freshman year. It was a Friday night, and I was just hanging out with my same old friends that I always hanged out with. Back then, usually Friday, Saturdays, Sundays, just chill around, smoke, go hang out, go do stuff. Same typical high school shit. You just, whatever you guys do, typical shenanigans. So, we're sitting in my friend's car outside his house, about to smoke. We usually smoked right before we went out, smoked throughout the night a little bit, and then smoked before we all parted ways and went home. So my friend's sitting in the front seat. There's three of us. I was in the back seat, my two friends in the front seat. We're sitting there. My one friend usually had the weed for us. We always threw him money, we'd always get it. He was always the one that usually had it, always had the bowls, always had the rellos, always had the bongs, always had, the fun shit. Always had that good shit. So he's sitting in the front seat, and he pulls out his little baggie of weed, pulls out his bowl. Nothing, suspicious, nothing from the ordinary. He goes to pack his bowl, he's packing the bowl, and then he lights it up. Except I noticed that before he passed it to me, he only took he just took a small little hit. Just an average size hit. And I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, usually you almost have a bowl to ourselves, when we smoke. So he passes it back to me. And I just remember taking 4 or 5 deep ass hits. And then after I took the hits, I gave it back up front to my friends. And my friend, when he took it from me, he just kind of looked at me with like a weird look on his face. And I didn't know what was going on at the time, but obviously I figured out what it really was later down the line. So we're sitting in front of my friend's house. Both of my friends took a single hit each, and I had ripped it. I had cashed it out. My friend that handed it to me originally, I cashed it, and then he ended up having to pack it for my one friend that was actually driving. We weren't driving anywhere, we were just sitting in front of his house, but he was in the driver's seat. He had to repack it for him. So about 5 minutes go by, and I started to notice that I started to get sort of that tunnel vision. I started really focusing on stuff, and I didn't think anything of it because, it's usually what happens, typical, when you smoke. But then I kind of started to get a little dizzy. I started to kind of get out of it and not really, I noticed that I wasn't really there, which usually doesn't happen. So I told my friend, I asked my friend, I was like, what did you get? Like, this is, I don't feel right. And he kind of just shrugged it off and didn't say anything. So about another couple minutes go by, literally 2 or 3 minutes go by, and these feelings started to really kick in. I just wasn't feeling right. So I asked my friend, like seriously, like what's going on? He pulls a baggie out of his pocket, and lo and behold, K2. It was that circular sticker on it, and it was that see-through bag. It just had that weird look in it, and it said K2 Summit. And I remember at that point, I was like, what the fuck, man? I'm not opposed to those drugs. I've done all that stuff. I've done acid, all that stuff. But it was just, I haven't heard anything about K2, really. It was kind of just becoming really popular at that time. So I just thought to myself, oh, what the fuck? So my friends, typical, oh, dude, it'll be fine, dude, just chill out, just chill, it's the same as weed, bro, I smoke it every day, just chill. And I hadn't known that he'd been smoking this stuff, and not weed, because whenever I was with him for the past couple weeks, he'd been smoking weed. So now, we're about 10 minutes in. Fast forward, go about 15 minutes in, these things started to hit me really hard. I just was totally out of it. I got really dizzy. I just had tunnel vision like a motherfucker. I didn't really know what was going on, to be completely honest. I was just totally zoned out and just totally out of it. So I just say, dude, come on, this isn't feeling right. What's going on, And the same old stuff, just chill. So my friend finally says, you know what, bro, let's get you some fresh air. Let's get you out of the car. And this is what me and my friends always joke about, and this is what I vividly remember. I remember trying to get out of the car. Now remember, I basically cashed the bowl after his hit. So I took a lot. I smoked a lot of it. Not just a little bit. I didn't just take a hit. I smoked a good amount of it. I cashed the bowl. I cashed the bowl. But anyways, getting out of the car, I was literally feeling around like the door jambs and just remembering that I had trouble almost planting my foot on the ground. And I literally could not do anything. My friend always tells me, he was like, dude, you couldn't even walk, And I literally remember not even be able to stand up and then just not being able to really do anything. So then all the other symptoms start coming down, all these other stuff. I don't know what's going on. All this other stuff's going on. And also my one friend also always brings it up that and I kind of remember it. I pulled out my phone and didn't really know what to do with it. Try and imagine this. I had my phone in front of me and I was just moving it side to side and moving it in a circle and around, trying to figure it out. And I remember that, not knowing how to use it or what it was. And it was crazy. All this stuff started happening. And my friends remember it all because they always joke around with me. Oh, bro, you remember this and stuff. And I vividly remember it, the not being able to walk part or really function. And then the phone. And then once I got out of the car, I couldn't stand straight. I ended up falling on his car. I remember I just kind of leaned up against it, kind of just fell all on the car. It was crazy. And just so you guys know, remember I did take a good amount of hits. I did a lot of it. It wasn't just a puff or something and I'm a lightweight and I was fucked up. I cashed the bolt. There was a lot of it in me. So then after all this stuff's happening, my friend finally got me in his house and laid me down. I had threw up actually right before I went inside. It was just crazy. I was spinning everywhere. I didn't know what I was doing. And then the worst part of it all, which I vividly remember out of everything, the horrible part about it, the worst part about the whole thing that I remember is the heart attack, is the feeling like you're going to die. So my friend, after I threw up, we went inside. He let me sit down on his couch. I was just laying down. He got me some water. I was just chilling, finally starting to come back. But then the whole time my heartbeat had been kind of high and I noticed it. But once I laid down, my heartbeat just kept rising and rising and rising to the point where it was getting crazy. And I remember at one point I was like, dude, just call my parents. I'm gonna die. But, I wasn't thinking rational. I was just totally out of it. And I remember it literally at one point felt like my heart was literally gonna explode or literally come out of my chest. It was the craziest feeling, and I still can see it, in my head today. I can still remember it, how my heart, it literally just felt, it was beating so fast that it just felt like it was going to pop out of my heart or just explode. And that was the worst part about it. But after about 10 minutes of that, from the first time, from when I took the hits, this was about a half hour, 45 minutes into it. It started to finally calm down. About an hour after it, I was totally chill. We went out and got some food, and I was totally chill. But it was a crazy experience. So if you guys have the chance, I personally wouldn't try it or do it with very little amounts. But personally, I would not try it. Stay away from it. It's a horrible thing. People have said it puts holes in your brains and all that craps. So don't try it. Don't even take a hit. Don't do anything with it. It's really it's not worth it. Stick to weed or something. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was my first time smoking K2. Also, subscribe for more stories if you guys found this interesting. And also, let me know your feedback. Let me know what kind of gameplay you guys want to see. I play all sorts of games, CSGO, League of Legends, Call of Duty. Just let me know what kind of gameplay you want to see. So this has been The Illicit Poet, and I'll see you guys in the next video.